Money Magic Series, Nautical Law, and Maritime Money. Welcome back. I'm Adeline Atlas, 11 times published author, and this is the Money Magic Series. When you walk into a bank, when you sign your name on a contract, when you step into a courtroom, you probably don't think of ships, sails, or oceans. Yet whether you realize it or not, the financial and legal systems that govern your life are built on maritime language and maritime logic. The sea has always been the foundation of global trade, and from that sea has emerged a system of law and finance that treats citizens as vessels, money as water, and society as a fleet moving under rules few people ever stop to question. This is what we mean when we talk about nautical law and maritime money. It is the hidden architecture of finance, the invisible ritual that has shaped how wealth flows, who commands it, and how every one of us is bound into its tides. To understand why money and law were cast in the language of the sea, we must go back thousands of years. In the ancient world, rivers and oceans were not barriers, but highways. The Mediterranean connected Egypt, Mesopotamia, Greece, and Rome. The Indian Ocean connected Arabia, India, and East Africa. The Atlantic and the Baltic became lifelines for Northern Europe. Trade meant ships, and ships meant wealth. Whoever controlled the seas controlled the flow of spices, gold, silver, silks, slaves, and every form of material prosperity. But ships also meant risk. Cargo could sink, storms could scatter fleets, pirates could attack, and disputes could arise over ownership and responsibility. From these problems emerged a separate body of rules: maritime law. Unlike local laws tied to land, this was a body of law that applied on the sea, across borders, designed to keep commerce moving. It became, in many ways, the first global legal system. The language of the sea crept into every corner of commerce. Think about the words we still use today. A bank is the edge of a river. Currency is the flow of water. Money has liquidity. Assets can be frozen or unfrozen, just like a stream. Wealth flows. Capital floods. And when a merchant was ruined, it was called bankruptcy, from the Italian bancarotta, meaning a broken bench, when a moneylender's table was smashed to signal his fall. These water metaphors are not poetic flourishes. They are the structural language of finance. They show us that from the very beginning, money was imagined as a current, something that had to be guided, dammed, and channeled. Something with tides, depths, and hidden undertows. This maritime logic extended beyond goods to people themselves. Ships were treated as legal persons. They could be sued, fined, or held responsible in court. That principle was eventually applied to human beings through documents that looked suspiciously like shipping manifests. Birth certificates, for example, bear the marks of cargo documents: dates, weights, places of delivery. Just as a ship must manifest its cargo, a person must be manifested into the system. In this sense, every citizen became a vessel in a vast commercial fleet, their lives treated as journeys, their labor as cargo, their signatures as the sails that move them forward. This is where the ritual of signature becomes important. When you sign your name on a contract, you are not just giving consent, you are launching your ship into an agreement. Your signature is the wind in your sail, the binding force that sets your vessel on a legal course. Without it, the ship does not move. With it, you are bound. This is why signatures must be written, witnessed, and sealed. It is not bureaucratic fussiness. It is ritual theater, descended from maritime practices where marks and seals validated cargo transfers and shipping contracts. Your name, capitalized on official documents, is treated not as your living self, but as your vessel. A legal fiction sailing in the sea of commerce. Even the architecture of law reflects this nautical foundation. Courtrooms are built like ships. You enter the dock, a word originally describing the place where ships are moored. Judges preside in robes, not unlike priests, because the courtroom is not simply a chamber of reason, but a chamber of ritual. To step into a court is to dock your vessel and have it weighed, measured, and judged. The very furniture of the courtroom, the bar, the bench, the dock, echoes maritime terms. And in this maritime world, contracts are voyages, debts are cargo, and justice is navigation. Banks, too, bear this architecture. They sit on the banks of commerce, channeling the currency that flows between them. They are temples built in the style of harbors, designed to control the tides of money. When you deposit your earnings, you are placing your cargo into their care. When you borrow, you are sending your ship out under their flag. The language of water makes this system seem natural. After all, currents flow and tides rise. But in truth, it is a constructed ritual architecture, channeling wealth in predetermined routes that benefit those who design the channels. The occult dimension of nautical law is that most people never see it. They believe they are free individuals, moving under the laws of the land. But in the hidden language of finance and law, they are treated as ships in a vast fleet. Their lives are voyages, their signatures are sails, their debts are cargo. They sail not on oceans, but on seas of paper and seas of digits. And the captains of this fleet are not kings or admirals, but bankers, lawyers, and lawmakers who understand the maritime code. This is why crashes, bankruptcies, and foreclosures are described in sacrificial language. When markets collapse, newspapers speak of blood in the water, of ships going down, of capital burned. The metaphors are not accidents, they are ritual continuities. The financial world still imagines itself in maritime terms. Stock markets open with the ringing of a bell, echoing the bells of ships and harbors. Corporations launch new ventures as if launching ships. Even the term floating alone descends from the image of a ship afloat. If you think this is abstract, consider how deeply it reaches into daily life. A person born in a hospital receives a certificate that functions like a bill of lading. They are entered into a registry just as cargo is logged. From that moment, they are navigable in the legal sea. Their taxes, debts, and obligations are all tracked as if they were shipments moving between ports. A marriage license is another contract of navigation, binding two vessels together. A mortgage is a voyage that lasts 30 years. Your house treated as the cargo that may be seized if the voyage fails. At every turn, your life is structured as maritime commerce. And the ritual is everywhere. Why must you sign in ink? Why in capital letters? Why must documents be notarized with seals? Because in the hidden language of law, these acts are the rituals that bind the vessel. Just as a ship could not sail without its manifest and its seal, you cannot move in the financial system without signatures and stamps. These rituals seem trivial, but they are the glue of the system. They keep the fleet moving, the banks channeling, the courts docking. What makes this a cult is not that it is secret in the sense of hidden away. It is secret in the sense of hidden in plain sight. The words, symbols, and rituals are everywhere, but they are never explained. You are told to sign here, to stand in the dock, to trust the bank, without ever being told that these are nautical rituals, inherited from centuries when trade and law were inseparable from the sea. You are not supposed to notice. You are supposed to perform. When you begin to see this, the entire financial system looks different. Banks are no longer neutral warehouses of wealth, but ritual harbors, directing the flow of current. Courts are no longer neutral forms of justice, but docks where vessels are weighed and bound. Contracts are no longer dry documents, but voyages launched by signatures. Citizens are no longer free individuals, but ships registered at birth, loaded with cargo, and sailed through life under rules they did not write. This is why nautical law and maritime money matter. They reveal the ritual architecture beneath the surface of finance. They show us that wealth is not free-flowing, but channeled like water, that citizens are navigated like ships, that signatures are sails and courts are harbors. They remind us that money has always been ritual and that the rituals we perform daily, signing, paying, depositing, borrowing, are not neutral acts, but ceremonies embedded in centuries of maritime tradition. In the coming lectures, we will see how this nautical framework expands into corporations as living corpses, money as spellwork, and banking language as ritual enchantment. But it begins here, with the sea, with the recognition that the global system of money was born on ships, written in maritime codes, and hidden in plain sight as the architecture of everyday life. To understand it is to see the ocean beneath the surface of society, the tides of commerce that carry us all, and the rituals that keep us sailing whether we know it or not. Welcome back. I'm Adeline Atlas, 11 times published author, and this is the Manifestation series, where we don't just talk about manifesting, we master it. Because let's be honest, manifestation has been watered down, reduced to vague quotes, mood boards, and empty promises. But you didn't come here to wish. You came here to build a reality that hits different. A reality that responds to your frequency, your language, your alignment, and your decision to stop playing small. This series is not fluff. It's physics, frequency, and fierce creative power. Inside the Manifestation series, you're going to learn how to collapse timelines, shift identities, and speak worlds into existence, just like the greatest minds in history. This isn't just about being positive. This is about being powerful. Here's what you unlock inside. Vision to reality, the vision board course. You've heard about vision boards, but you've never done them like this. This is a full energetic ritual, a precision-coded map for your subconscious, designed to bridge image, frequency, and strategy. It's not arts and crafts. It's blueprinting your future in visual form and turning it into matter. Time, quantum timelines, and why time isn't real. Manifestation doesn't take time. It takes alignment. In this module, I'll show you how time is just a mirror of energy and how to collapse timelines using choice, clarity, and vibration. Past, present, future, they're happening now. And when you know how to navigate time quantum style, you stop waiting and start receiving. Quantum jumping, instantly up level. Your next level life isn't years away. It's one decision away. In this training, you'll learn how to quantum jump, how to shift into a version of you that already has what you desire. This isn't fantasy. It's how high-performance creators, athletes, and spiritual masters leap beyond limits. Jump now. Land in power. Every word. The power of affirmations and spoken language. Words build worlds. In this course, I show you how to use affirmations like spellwork, not just repeating empty mantras, but speaking with vibration, intention, and spiritual force. If you've ever felt like affirmations don't work, this will change everything. You'll learn to command your field, not just request from it. The greats, learning from the most exceptional minds in history. We're not the first to master this. In this legendary module, we decode the techniques, habits, and quantum genius of the world's most powerful manifestors, from ancient sages to modern icons. You'll learn how to think like the greats, move like the greats, and manifest like the greats. This isn't another feel-good series. This is a spiritual weapon, disguised as a manifestation course. It's made for leaders, cycle breakers, visionaries, and soul builders. You don't need another wish list. You need a system that teaches you how to bend reality. This is that system. So if you're ready to stop playing with potential and start creating results, welcome to your next level. The manifestation series is open now. You know what to do. Let's build what they said was impossible and make it inevitable.